Well, when you think of Walt Disney World and Universal Studios, and really Florida in general, the last thing you think about is freezing wind. But that is something that is potentially coming to the Walt Disney World and Universal Studios area, as well as the wildfires out in California are also affecting the Universal Studios parks out there. So we have a couple articles here from WDWNT. We're going to outline these things and talk about them, and hopefully everybody stays safe with all this, but this is some unusual circumstances, you could say the least. So hi, I'm Jared with Capture the Magic, and the first one here is weather advisory issued for freezing wind around Disney World and Universal Orlando. The National Weather Service has issued a cold weather advisory for the Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando resort areas for Thursday morning. The cold weather advisory is in effect from 3 a.m. to 9 a.m., so not a huge span of time there. On Thursday, January 9th, it is for multiple counties, including counties with Disney World and Universal Studios. The National Weather Service predicts cold wind chills with freezing temperatures as low as 25 to 30 degrees. It says use caution while traveling outside, wear appropriate clothing, basically be warm and things like that. Though the advisory is only for the early morning, Disney's Blizzard Beach water park is closed at least Thursday, and Universal Volcano Bay is closed due to cold weather as well. So it doesn't so the theme parks aren't going to close because it's early in the morning, but 30 degrees, 25 degrees, 30 degrees in Florida is cold. And I can tell you, we went to Missouri to visit family right after Christmas, and it was cold up there, and it seemed like it followed us back here, and it is even where we're at, very cold in the evenings, much colder than you normally will see. I mean, a lot of times in Florida, people do think when you come to Florida, come to Disney World, Universal Studios, that it's always warm. And typically in the day, even in the wintertime, it'll get 50, 60 degrees. But at night, it can get chilly once that sun goes down. But the fact that it's going to be in the 30s, in the 20s there with the wind, I think that's something that a lot of people aren't expecting. I think Floridians, for the most part, will maybe just stay inside because, you typically don't see this type of weather. There was rumors that there could be snow at Disney World, but I don't think that is something that's probably going to happen, but that would be very rare to see that. But if you are going to be at Disney or Universal early in the morning, it's going to be cold, bundle up, and people a lot of times ask what kind of clothing do we bring, to on a Disney or Universal trip in the winter. I always say, just to be safe, a lot of times I always tell people bring both because it can be both really cold in one part of the day and pretty comfortable the other part of the day. But again, once that sun goes down, even on a nice, decently warm day, it can get very cold. And there's been times when we've been at the parks where it's gotten down into the 30s. And I think I'm not just being a soft Floridian here, but I do think because of the higher humidity, it does tend to feel a little bit colder in Florida when it gets cold compared to other areas. So it may seem actually colder than the 25 to 30 degrees. But again, if you're going to be on the parks there, be warm and just be prepared for the cold. And out in Universal Studios Hollywood, obviously a lot of people know about the wildfires out there, which I will say, somebody on the East Coast, I wasn't really keeping up with a lot of stuff on the wildfires, but the stuff I'm seeing, it looks absolutely terrible at what's going on out there, and it's just relentless with that fire. But the breaking here from WDWNT also is Universal Studios Hollywood and City Walk closed for extreme winds and fire conditions out there. And they made an announcement on Twitter X that Universal Studios Hollywood and Universal City Walk will be closed today as a result of the extreme winds and fire conditions. We will continue to assess the situation and expect to open for business tomorrow. The safety of our team members and our guests is our top priority. It says, per KTLA News, in the western Los Angeles area, tens of thousands of residents remain under mandatory evacuation orders after a wind-driven wildfire erupted in size on Tuesday and swept through communities in the Palisades. The fire was first reported around 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday. By evening, the fire had reached more than 2,900 acres with no containment and was expected to keep spreading amid hurricane-force Santa Ana winds. News footage showed dozens of homes and other structures ablaze, but there was no initial estimate for the number of structures damaged or destroyed. The cause of the fire remains under investigation currently. Says Universal Studios Hollywood official website does not have an announcement banner at the top of the page stating that they're closed today. The Universal Studios Hollywood official website does have an announcement banner at the top of the page stating they're closed today due to the winds and fires. The website announcement does state that they expect to be open for business tomorrow, though, but they do say that, that can change, obviously, due to the nature of the fires and things like that. So, I mean, again, all this stuff out in California with that is terrible. And if you're out there, thoughts and prayers. Hopefully everybody's safe. And for those that may not know, Disneyland is not really close to Universal Studios out in Hollywood. So over here on Disney Dining here, they say, is Disneyland at risk with this? Disneyland Resort located in Anaheim remains open despite concerns. The resort sits approximately 43 miles from the Eaton Fire and 47 miles from the Pacific Palisades Fire. Maps from local reports show that while the fires are causing heavy smoke in many parts of Los Angeles County, the projected smoke paths stop short of Anaheim. So it doesn't look like at this point Disneyland will be affected. But obviously that can change because this fire seems like it is very just changing almost by the hour with these winds and everything like that. So as of right now, though, Disneyland is not affected as the Anaheim area so far has not been hit by this. You know, it's one thing to have your trip to a theme park impacted by weather and hurricanes, especially if you're on the East Coast, but you know, wildfires like this is really nothing to play with here. And obviously Universal is taking the precautionary steps here, but pretty extraordinary circumstances, having kind of extreme weather on both ends of the coast. I guess you would call the fires weather on some level, but extreme events on both coasts here. And obviously the one in Disney World and, you know, Orlando, much, you know, less severe. It's just cold, which, you know, even Floridians may kind of freak out about it being cold, but it's just some cold there compared to the fires out in Hollywood. So hopefully, again, everybody's safe out there. But if you are having trips at either place here, just keep that in mind. I would assume if you're out in California, though, you probably are getting out of the area, or I would hope so. And hopefully the fire gets contained very soon. And everything, you know, hopefully no more damage happens. Obviously, again, I'm not on the West Coast, so I don't know the specifics of this, but it does look pretty terrible. And just looking from the outside, just, again, thoughts and prayers to everybody there. But just want to update on that as there's some weird extreme weather, and I can report from Florida, it is cold. Even as of right now, where we're at, it's under 50 degrees. I think it's going to get for us around the 30s, somewhere around there. But still very cold for Florida. And if it's something you didn't plan for on a trip, that can definitely be something that can impact how much you enjoy. You may be going to the gift shop to buy some hoodies and sweatpants or something like that to deal with the cold there. But I just want to make a video on this, updating this. And if you've got plans at either park, plan accordingly. Or if you're planning to go out to either one, especially out in Hollywood, you may have to alter those plans, of course, given I don't think anybody knows, of course, what's going to go on with the wildfires, how those are going to be contained, or where those are going to go. But either way, that's going to be it, though, for this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, as we do lots of coverage here of Universal Studios, Epic Universe, Disney World, and pop culture. And be sure to let us know in the comments what you think about all this. And until next time, we will see you in the parks.